This is Gielinor. If you're watching this video, it's either because someone you love sent this to you because they really want you to start playing, you're a returning player, or you're a brand new adventurer that just wants a little bit of guidance for this vast and beautiful world we call Gielinor. To all of you I say, welcome to Old School RuneScape. This is the first episode of our series, A Newcomer's Guide to Gielinor. The goal of this series is to help new and returning players alike ease their way into this world and eventually venture off on your own and explore this wonderful game a lot of us call home. I hope you enjoy this series, and without further ado, let us begin with Lesson 1, the fundamentals of Old School RuneScape. So if you're like my wife or any of my friends that have tried to get into RuneScape, you probably logged on, finished Tutorial Island, got thrown into Lumbridge, and are probably asking yourself, well, now what? Well, to get you started, I've put together a few tips to help with just the basics. As the series continues, we'll move on or graduate into more complex tasks and topics. But I believe these things are important and often overlooked by veteran players trying to teach new players the basics. Number 1, movement and interaction. So by now you've probably familiarized yourself with how to move from one place to another. You simply click where you want to go, and your character will either walk or run to the desired spot. You'll notice that when you click on the ground, a yellow X appears. This means that your character will attempt to move somewhere and nothing more. If the X is red, this means that you are instead going to interact with whatever you have clicked on. So that could range from multiple things: attacking, talking, opening or closing a door. The list is endless. So to avoid accidentally interacting with anything entirely, you can move using the minimap located on the top right of your interface. This is generally the fastest way to get around, and it usually allows you to click further than your camera can see. Make sure to zoom out as much as possible as well if you like to. Remember to toggle run when possible to move twice as fast. Which leads me to our next topic, number 2, running and navigating. Most people prefer to get around as fast as possible, which is completely understandable since you want to get from A to B or run away from any threats. Run energy depletes at a rate that is determined by the total amount of weight you are carrying, which can be found on your character's armor and weapon interface. The heavier you are, the faster you lose run energy. You will then have to walk to regain your energy, which will be regained at a faster rate depending on your agility level, which is a members only skill. We'll go more into detail on skills in another video. You may want to preserve run energy in case you run into some baddies on the way to your next destination. Speaking of destinations, our third topic today is the world map. My wife actually told me to put this one into the video because when she started playing, she was just so confused as to where to go or what to do because the world is so huge. You can pull up the map by pressing the globe icon in your minimap. You can try to study it to see where you want to head next, but my advice is just to walk around and learn as you go. It's like moving into a new city or visiting a place for the first time. You're not always going to know where everything is right away, but as you explore and go around, you'll eventually know it like the back of your hand. So take your time and enjoy the scenic route. You may also choose to teleport from place to place, and that's okay too. But the better you get to know the world, the easier it is to remember your way back if you happen to meet your fate by accident. Which leads us to our next topic, number 4, death and your inventory. So let's talk about death, because unless you're a veteran player, it's gonna happen eventually. It's important to note that you do lose all of your items upon death and keep your 3 most valuable items. But don't worry. Unless you get killed in the wilderness, which again we'll cover in another video, you can make it back to your grave and reclaim lost items within 15 minutes of being logged in. If you don't make it within 15 minutes, Death is nice enough to help you get that sorted out in his office, which can be located by every respawnable area. For you, it's likely Lumbridge. Now, you may be asking, well then, how am I supposed to keep my stuff safe? So, you may have noticed by now, you get 28 inventory slots. That's all you get. There's no bag expansions here, so you have to learn to manage 28 slots. And by the way, you'll get really good at dividing by the number 28 the longer you play this game. But luckily for all of us, except for Ultimate Iron Man, we also get access to a bank. The bank is your best friend. You can put any and all of your belongings in here where they're safe no matter what happens to you. The world of Gielinor has banks at nearly every town throughout the game, so if you feel like you're a bit heavy on items and you want to keep picking up everything you see, make sure you stop by a bank and deposit your hard-earned items in gold. You'll get better at managing your items as you keep playing and gathering resources. And now, to round off our first video, I of course have to mention skills. This is the lifeblood of RuneScape, and you really wouldn't have anything to do in this game if it weren't for the skills that make it happen. Skills will have a video of their own, but just to break it down for starters, I like to break them up into 3 categories: combat, gathering, and secondary skills. In total, there are 24 skills in Old School RuneScape that can all be leveled up to 99. Each have their own skill guide you can access by clicking on them to see what's next on the unlock list. Combat skills include attack, strength, defense, ranged, magic, hit points, and prayer, which all directly impact your combat level. By the way, your combat level is the level that players will see when they right-click your avatar. Next, we have gathering skills. This includes hunting, mining, fishing, woodcutting, and farming. And I'm also going to include agility, thieving, and slayer in here as well, which are all skills that will provide you with the materials that you will then use for your secondary skills. Your secondary skills include rune crafting, construction, herb lore, crafting, fletching, smithing, cooking, fire making, and lastly, sailing. There are plenty of wonderful guides out there on how to level up those efficiently or however you'd like, so feel free to check those out wherever you may find them best. Remember that RuneScape is a sandbox MMO, so create the build that you want, whether that's a berserker with no defense levels, a skiller who only focuses on skilling, that's kind of the way my wife ended up choosing, and maybe your end goal is just to get max 99 on all stats, which is awesome as well. The cool thing is, you can do whatever you want on Old School RuneScape. Anyway guys, that wraps up our very first video of an adventurer's guide to Gielinor. I really hope this helped even a little bit to those of you new players out there, and thank you for all of the support on my shorts and my other content. Like I've told many of you in the comments, I just want this community to grow, and I would love to keep helping however possible. Let me know in the comments below if this helped or what else you may need help with, and I'll make sure to include it in my next video. For the next video, I am planning on going more into detail about skills broken up into the 3 categories I mentioned. But again, thank you, adventurer. Enjoy your time out there in Gielinor, and please don't hesitate to ask for help. Have a wonderful and amazing day.